the Za'Darius Smith signing had to be in the works for at least a couple weeks. Had to be in the works. Because remember, going into that game, Azeez Ojulari was a healthy scratch, and Ogbo Oronquo was a healthy scratch. Those are two edge rushers you elevated to your 53-man roster when you made final cuts. When you made final cuts, Azeez Ojulari made the roster. Josh Uche made the roster. Ogbo Oronquo made the roster. You feel what I'm saying? Obviously, Nolan and Jalen made the roster. And we knew Josh Uche was having a better training camp. He was having a better training camp than Azeez Ojulari. And remember, I was high on Azeez Ojulari. I thought Azeez Ojulari would be the person that would that would make the bigger impact rather than Josh Uche. But Josh Uche showed flashes in that game on Thursday. And frankly, the Eagles clearly haven't been pleased with the depth at that position. Azeez so far hasn't really been impressive, according to what we've heard and read. Ogbo Oronquo, similar, not really impressive. Again, these guys were healthy scratches. They elevated Patrick Johnson for that game, as a matter of fact. And you know, Patrick Johnson brings special teams prowess and efficiency. But you watch that game, right, on Thursday, and the Eagles got a lot of pressure. They got a ton of pressure in that game, but they didn't get any sacks. They got some quarterback hits out of the game, but they didn't get any sacks. And that's something that I think Howie Roseman isn't happy about. Because there were moments where, okay, Jordan Davis should have had a sack, but he didn't get it. Close but no cigar, right? There was moments Nolan Smith and Josh Uche and Jalen Hunt, they had got contact. They got around the corner, but Dak got the ball out just in time, right? Let me see here. Let me see if I can find some stats for the Eagles here. Give me 1 second from that game. All right. Yeah, I mean, they got pressure, but they didn't get home at the end of the day. And I think when you lose Josh Sweat, you lose Brandon Graham in the offseason, you're losing guys that can get to the quarterback. You're losing guys that have pass rush prowess. And, you know, we expect Nolan Smith to take another step. Nolan Smith has to make a bigger impact. We expect Jalen Hunt to make a bigger impact as well, but they need more there. And the Za'Darius Smith signing wasn't something that happened overnight. They felt for quite some time that position needed to be fortified. And I know some people brought up Za'Darius Smith, as a matter of fact, and I'm not mad at that move at all, because Za'Darius Smith is a guy that's been productive no matter where he's been. Za'Darius Smith is a guy who's 6'4", 270 pounds, prototypical for the edge rusher position. He's a professional pass rusher. In 2024, Za'Darius Smith played in 17 games, had 9 sacks for Cleveland, 8 for he played in 17 games, 9 games for Cleveland, 8 games for Detroit. He registered 9 sacks total and 17 quarterback hits. In 9 games for Cleveland, he had 5 sacks. In 8 games for Detroit, he had 4 sacks. In 2024, he also played 618 total defensive snaps. He played 327 snaps for Cleveland, which was 58%, and he played 291 snaps for Detroit, which was 60%. So he was pretty healthy all year long, and he started in 16 to 17 games. So when he was in Cleveland, when he was in Detroit, he became their starter. And a reminder, Detroit, they lost Aiden Hutchinson last season. So he came in and provided much needed support at that position. And he was productive nonetheless. So, like I said, everywhere he's been a productive player. And the entire season, 2024, 9 sacks, 17 quarterback hits. He comes in a rotational role. If he comes in and gives you 20 to 30 snaps a game, that's remarkable. He comes in and gives you 15 to 25, 20 to 30 snaps. I like that. An older player with experience, veteran leadership. He's a pro, a professional pass rusher. You bring him in rotations. He's constantly fresh. I like what that looks like for the Philadelphia Eagles. I saw somebody tweet that this is starting to look like the 2023 season. And my problem with that is you're paranoid. That person is paranoid. We're one game in. There's no way I can compare a season to any other season after watching one game. It's emotional, it's overreactive, and it's rage baiting. And it's annoying. One game happened, and everybody wants to jump out the window and everything. It's the laziest thing in the world to me. It's the laziest thing in the world to me. One game, and people acting stupid. The Eagles are 2-time Super Bowl champions. They just came out of a Super Bowl season. They have more talent from last year stayed than left. And people want to act stupid. Like, it's annoying. It was a rivalry game. Week 1, where anything can happen. It was banner night, a lot of pressure. Jalen Carter gets ejected from the game. It completely obliterated your defensive game plan. Vic Fangio had to figure it out on the fly. Honestly, that delay helped the defense. Helped Vic Fangio figure out what he wanted to do. It also helped the Dallas defense, helped them figure out what they wanted to do. We saw them doing different things than they did the entire in that second half than they did the entire first half. So again, I can't sit here and overreact to one game. I can't. Perfect example, the Chiefs lost last night. The Chiefs lost to the Chargers in Brazil. Am I sitting here saying, oh man, the Chiefs, I don't know if they're going to get back. Let's see if Nick Wright keep that same energy with the Chiefs. Let's see if he keeps that same energy. Because the Eagles are Super Bowl champions. Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes, they're Super Bowl champions respectively. Let's keep that same energy. Chiefs lost last night. Are they not going back to the Super Bowl? Nonetheless, man, people overreacting to just every little thing, man. One game. I refuse to, especially knowing how 2024 went when that Eagles team started 2-2. And they became what they became. This defense, this offense in week 1 is not going to be the same defense and offense in week 8, week 9, week 10, week 12. They're not going to be the same. They're going to be more buttoned up, more refined. Kevin Patullo is going to be more cemented in his position. You're going to see the creativity begin to flow. The creative juices are going to begin to flow. Yes, does he have to do a better, and I'm on a tangent right now. But yes, does he have to do a better job getting A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith involved? Yes, you do. It will happen. Fucking relax. One game. So getting back to the pass rush, getting back to Za'Darius Smith, I want to give you guys some context to what happened on Thursday because I was looking at some of the next-gen stats, right? And I want to show you guys something here. Let's bring this up on screen. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed. I know the text is kind of small, but I'm going to try to do it justice here. All right? I'm going to try to do it justice. Let me see if I can actually help out here. Let me see. All right. So I'm looking at these numbers here, right? These are the next-gen stats from the Philadelphia Eagles as it pertains to their performance from Thursday, right? And Zack, Baun, Reed, Blankenship, Quinyon, Mitchell, and Cooper DeJean led the team in snaps, right? Then Jihaad Campbell had 51 snaps. Jordan Davis played 50 snaps. Moro Jomo played 50 snaps. Nolan Smith 48. Andrew McCooper 46. So on and so forth, right? Now, I want to give some flowers out. The pass rushes. Jordan Davis and Moro Jomo led the team in pass rush attempts, right? And a lot of guys got pressure. Jalen Hunt led the team in pressures. He had 5 quarterback pressures. He had 5 pressures on 16 pass rush attempts. Nolan Smith, 4 pressures on 26 attempts. Josh Uche, 3 pressures on 15 attempts. Jordan Davis, 2 pressures on 30 attempts. Zach Baun, 1 pressure on 3 attempts. Patrick Johnson, 1 pressure on 5 attempts. And Moro Jomo, 1 pressure on 30 attempts. We need to see more from Moro Jomo. Moro Jomo needs to be better than what we saw, right? I do expect Moro Jomo to improve. I expect Moro Jomo to have a better performance in that game. I really, really do. But I want to give credit to Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis did a really good job in that game. And I think Jordan Davis, as a matter of fact, he led the Eagles in defensive stops, right? And stops is when you prevent the offense from generating a positive play. It's a positive play for the defense, and it counts against the offense's EPA. So Jordan Davis had 5 stops. Zach Baun had 4 stops. Jihaad Campbell had 3. McCooper had 3 stops. Nolan had 2 stops. You know, Jordan Davis had a really, really good performance. So, again, I bring all this up because what's standing out here is no sacks. No sacks, right? And look, sacks aren't the end-all, be-all, but you need to do a better job of getting home to the quarterback and finishing. And I think that's where Za'Darius Smith comes in. And they did this without Jalen Carter. Again, no Jalen Carter. A lot of people are overreacting to that Eagles defense. You didn't have Jalen Carter in that game. Jalen Carter is your best defensive player. So you expect more out of a guy like Jalen Carter. You expect more out of everybody else. Again, Jalen Carter is going to bring the best out of everybody. He's going to bring the best out of everybody. And when Jalen Carter's not out there, other guys become compromised, right? Jalen Carter is the guy that's going to demand he's going to demand the double teams. He's going to demand the most attention. Teams are going to game plan for Jalen Carter, which is going to allow Jordan Davis to eat more. It's going to allow Moro Jomo to eat. Going to allow Nolan, Za'Darius Smith, Jalen Hunt. It's going to allow guys like Byron Young. All those guys are going to eat. I saw promising things from Byron Young. I saw promising things from Uche. I think your edge rusher rotation is Nolan Smith, Jalen Hunt, Za'Darius Smith, Josh Uche. That's your rotation right there. That's your rotation. D tackle, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Moro Jomo, Byron Young, Gabe Hall. Byron Young played more snaps than Gabe Hall. I told people the Byron Young is going to be a good player for the Eagles. Let him ramp up some more. So again, I think we need to monitor our concerns when it comes to the Philadelphia Eagles defense. I think the Eagles are going to be just fine. I think Za'Darius Smith is going to bring much needed juice to the cookout. You feel what I'm saying? He's going to bring much needed energy to that room. Again, an OG, a professional pass rusher, knows how to get to the quarterback. He's been productive no matter what scheme or team he's been on. Za'Darius Smith is not scheme dependent. He's not scheme dependent whatsoever. This guy, like I said, 9 sacks in the 2024 season, 5 sacks in Cleveland, 4 in Detroit. He had 10 sacks in Minnesota. He had 12 and a half sacks in 2020 for Green Bay, had 13 and a half sacks in 2019 for Green Bay, 8 and a half sacks for Baltimore in 2018. He can get to the quarterback. So you pair that with Jalen Carter and what he does with Za'Darius Smith and Nolan Smith. I think this pass rush, I think this Eagles defense is going to be fine in the macro.